this over here. Check 1. Mic check 1. I think we're good. So let me just check that this is playing out in audio. Advanced.
Reflection. This project invites readers, dreamers, and creators to play, to see life itself as an adventure of consciousness, where we design our own destiny. From the interactive deck to the art of being and the reality creation process, the vision is one. Awaken imagination, master creation, embody your being. Back the deck, join the story, and help bring the next chapter of Life is a Game to life.
Let me play.
Life is a Game is more than a tarot deck. It's the first portal in a living story. A struggling artist named Dorte Gadders opens a trinket box and steps into a world where every choice becomes a card, every lesson a doorway. Each card in the Life is a Game Neon Nexus deck links to its own digital guide, blending story, symbolism, and reflection. This project invites readers, dreamers, and creators to play, to see life itself as an adventure of consciousness, where we design our own destiny. From the interactive deck to the art of being and the reality creation process, the vision is one. Awaken imagination, master creation, embody your being. Back the deck, join the story, and help bring the next chapter of Life is a Game to life. Life is a Game is more than a tarot deck. It's the first portal in a living story. A struggling artist named Dorte Gadders opens a trinket box and steps into a world where every choice becomes a card, every lesson a doorway. Each card in the Life is a Game Neon Nexus deck links to its own digital guide, blending story, symbolism, and reflection. This project invites readers, dreamers, and creators to play.
Okay, let me just pause this for a second.
As an adventure of consciousness.
Life is a game of tarot. Welcome, my name is Mariah. Hi, Queen. I'm going to go into a collective read and then I'll come back to you. And then we'll get into some personals. So, yeah, I wanted to share this today actually. But I'll come back to this because I'm also going to play out Ep 1. But I'll go through the collective reading first. I've actually thought to pull a spread from the guidebook. I was like, oh, I've got some spreads in here, I should probably use them. So this one here is the Key to Destiny spread. Understanding your life's purpose, unlocking potential and aligning with your highest path. You know, I actually did this for a TikTok spread last night and I really just used it. I purposed this read. So just to give us an idea, or the collective an idea on what's happening at the moment. I tend to think that there are some common themes here, and one of them for a lot of us is self-mastery. So yeah, and that's certainly what came up. But it's just what area of self-mastery. So. Yeah, just having, I think we should be able to wipe this out or wrap this up in about 5 minutes. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, the Empress, the Tower, the Star, the Six of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Page of Wands. So, we're looking at our timeline currently, and that's the way that I'm using this. Timeline, a timeline that is aligned with our highest or greatest purpose, soul's true nature and purpose, our full authentic self-expression, and a life we love. In the position, what is blocking you from stepping into your power? For some of us, with the Eight of Pentacles there, it may be a case of getting on with the work, getting the work done, really knuckling down and working through the task list. For some of us, it might be actually creating the task list and then working our way through it. And for those of us that are actually doing the work, it's just a case of grinding. I don't really see it as grinding so much as, there's this task, then this task, then this task, and it's just working our way through the list as best we can. Sometimes it can feel like the work is overwhelming. And I don't think, I think perhaps certainly in my case, this is how I'm relating to the Eight of Pentacles, is that the task list is really long in a day. It's really long, and I don't get through everything, but I work my way diligently through as much as I can, and I'm satisfied that I've done what I can, and it's enough, and I think that, for us, when we are working through that list, if we keep that in mind, we can certainly look back on the day and go, yeah, that's cool. I did what I could, and that's enough. So the Empress here represents a hidden strength or an insight that will help you unlock your progress. Really, it's talking about stepping into your creative power. The Empress is all about creation, and if you ever forget that you have that within you, or rather, if you forget, especially as you're going through the moments where the work seems overwhelming, or things might seem overwhelming. I'm trying to find my feather. My feather is MIA. Especially where the work might seem overwhelming. Just remember who you are. Remember your capacity to create what it is you want. Remember your capacity to I just see a flower blooming, like the flower blooming within, and being a metaphor for your capacity to just allow what sits within to be seen, and allowing yourself to channel that and share that within your work, certainly, and with the world as you see fit. The Tower here sits in awesome. So, personally I love the Tower. It is the door, it is a gateway here, and it's a case of stepping through this Tower here. Look, I had to find my feather. I can't believe I didn't get this ready before I jumped in, but it's really annoying me in this moment that I can't point to it outside of using my... But it's like I've come to appreciate that the feather is like a little bit of a wand. No. It has disappeared. Okay, I shall use my other pointer. Here it is, right here. It's a nice metal ruler. This is what it is today. Alright, let's work our way through this collective. So the tower, right? The tower comes and it clears, it cometh and it cleareth. away anything that is not needeth. And that is what the tower is doing, certainly in this read. It is a doorway. And what, in this position, it is a blessing, because anything that needs dismantling really quickly will be dismantled, so that you can get on with the business of creating what it is that you are working towards. The star here is in the position of guardian. A challenge, a fear, a lesson that you're facing is, to me, with the star in this position, it's the fear of, this is representing to me as the fear of failure, actually, the fear of meeting the fear of failing. But, and for some of us, the fear of success. What does it look like to be successful in whatever we're doing? Are we scared of being seen? Because success can come with being seen, and for some of us that might be really scary. And then for some of us, the fear might be of failing. And someone said something to me yesterday that just gave me a great degree of comfort, because you guys will know that I have started a Kickstarter campaign, especially if you were here last week, and I think you can see it running itself out alongside this read now. But yeah, I was talking about my fear of failure, and I was really comforted by what that person said, and they said, look, it's okay to fail. That's how you learn. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I love that. And because I think that, it makes a lot of sense, right? And we know this. We know that it's okay, but sometimes we just need to remind ourselves it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to succeed. Actually, what we want is to succeed. But what I guess we'd be learning is it's okay to be seen. Okay, the Six of Pentacles represents your guidance on the best path forward. Is keeping, in this instance, is keeping everything in balance, keeping everything in check in terms of your relationships with others, your relationship probably with spirit, and the nature of reciprocity being what it is. How are you managing that process of keeping balance in your give and take? It could even be talking about, like, if you're working on a project, or whatever you're working towards, whether it is, because this doesn't have to represent necessarily a project. For some of us, it can represent relationships, or it can represent, in any aspect of your life, really. Just whatever it is you're working towards, and whatever it is you're focused on mastering. With the Six of Pentacles here, it really just says, in terms of guidance, whatever that is that you're working on, the best path forward is one where you are keeping in check your give and take with the people around you, or within the project. And what that looks like will probably depend on individual circumstances. The treasure, the rewards or wisdom gained by following this journey. Two of Wands and the Page of Wands. So, it looks like a next step here. with the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands generally talks about planning, and it can also talk about direction, which direction are we going in, and then planning accordingly. But basically, in following this process, if any of us that are watching this collective have any question about, okay, well, what direction do I go in here, especially with this Page of Wands right next to the Two of Wands, where do I take this now? That's the general feeling I get with whatever it is that the collective that will be watching this is asking, is, okay, so I'm doing the work, I am embracing my creativity, I'm letting fall away anything that is not required, I'm facing this fear of success and of failure, and I am reciprocating in the areas that that might need me to do that in order to provide this pathway forward in a way that is easy. But now I need to figure out what direction to take this in, and what this is saying is, with leaning into this, the pathway forward will unfold in front of you, or at least you'll see which way to go forward, and where you're lacking any clarity with this Page of Wands here, you'll step forward boldly anyway, knowing that you've got what you need to move forward with confidence, and that what you've got is the heart of an adventurer and the capacity to explore the path that is being lit up. So, and I say being lit up, knowing that this is your own inner compass that is providing the direction and the light on the path in front of you. So that is the collective read. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we can get into some personals now. Let me just fold these up. And hi guys, hey, how are we? How's our week been? I'm going to be keeping this one short as well. I think we're going to do a yes/no. I mean, we did a yes/no last week, but we didn't stick to strictly yes or no, but it helped to keep the readings reined in. So we'll do the same again this week. But I'm quite keen to show you guys Ep 1, 2 of this character's story if you guys are interested. It's about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes long. So yeah, we can do that. Like, let me know if anyone lets me know, and then we'll go to it. Otherwise, I'll save it till the end. Okay, so let's have a look at this list here, and let me just see if I can swap this chat box around here so I'm not straining to see all the way over the other side. Right there, okay, cool, got it. Okay, yeah, nice to see you too, Queen. A lot of people aren't currently here, but I'm sure we'll be watching on the replay. Yeah, oh, thanks. Saron, hi Saron. Hi Avalon. Awesome. Yay, I'll pin this list. Awesome, so Saron, so Queen, Saron, Avalon and Janet. Awesome. And how do I pin? There we go. Done. Yay. Okay, so what I might do is, actually, I'm going to escape out of this. I'm going to play this one. No, this one here in the background. I might just mute Yeah, just play her. So she's playing out. Okay, so Queen, your question. Ethan and I were to go on a date on Saturday. Nice. Nice. Like, I'm enjoying the evolving story. Don't mind me appreciating your love story. Ethan and I were to go on a date on Saturday, but we had an argument. Oh, sorry, I didn't read the rest of this. Didn't scan ahead. I just saw the were to go on a date. But we had an argument a couple of hours prior and haven't spoken since. He left me on read after venting in his WhatsApp. Right. Yeah, so that collective read, I think perhaps it's why I mention relationships. I can't remember how the last bit applies to you, but yeah, you might have got some value out of it. Maybe keywords. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice collective. I'm going to start using the guidebook spreads actually, because they were made specifically for me. Okay, so actually, speaking of which, let me go to the... Oh, I said I was going to make these yes or no to keep them short and then let anything expand off of there. Okay, so... Do I see him contacting you? Oh. Okay, I'm going to put these back in. Oh, by the way, actually, you prefer to use a different deck, don't you? What deck do you prefer to use? Yeah. Although, we can, like, human... We can... Oh, actually, can we humour me? And we use my deck. We use my deck today while we're doing the Kickstarter. And then we can go back to the other decks next week. It's pretty cool, actually. Now, before I go trailing off into other things, let me just do your read. So, do I see Ethan contacting Queen? Is Ethan contacting Queen? I've got, you know what? There's contact again. I mean, it's, yeah. But do I see him contacting you? Okay, so just carry on with this. It's never a straight answer. I'm not laughing, by the way, at your situation. I'm laughing at the way that the way that the answer comes up in the cards. Gotta love tarot. So that's 7 of Cups, 2 of Swords. So there's a bit here, like, you know what, there's contact again, you know, there's contact again. It's just that there's a bit to work out. And, you know, with the 7 of Cups here, you know, you've got someone definitely in resistance here, right? And you can see this. It's like, that's the energy right at this moment. And then with the 2 of Swords, you know, we're just not making a decision. And same with the 7 of Cups. It's like, it's indecision times 2. So, you know, the probably the thought is there, the want is there, and oh look, we've got this. Oh, I thought it was going to be the 8 of Pentacles, but it's not. Page of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, the Devil, and we saw this want to come out earlier. So I think there might still be some feeling here of where like, we have those feelings that we play on loop, and whatever happens where we have a disagreement or something, something goes, something triggers old wounds or old feelings that may not necessarily be connected to the situation, but it triggers old stuff. That's what this devil is speaking to. I can tell he was in our WhatsApp thread yesterday because some messages that were not in blue were now in blue. Yeah. What are choices again? He's an Aries and Cancer. That's cool. Okay. Well, the devil was coming out earlier. It wanted to pop out when I was first shuffling, and I put it back. So, yeah, I think that's what happened. Well, I remember seeing it anyway. So, yeah. But the Seven of Cups speaks to, well, choices and well, it can speak to illusions as well. But it's a card of indecision, really. What path do I choose? There are so many things I can do right now that are could lead me up the garden path. That's the general feeling here. So it's like I just won't make any choice at all. I'll just do nothing. That's what this combination is talking to. So right now, he probably won't be reaching out in this minute. But like the way that things work is that a person can be in a completely different space in the next 5 minutes. I'm not saying that's the case in this instance, but it happens. It just depends on where we're at. And certainly, when I look at this, it's like, well, here's a backstory. It's like, well, have these two cards, but when I'm asking, okay, well, while I was pulling the cards, I'm like, Seven of Cups, okay, cool, no decision right now. Then the Two of Swords are, okay, this is why I was laughing, because the card's like, well, you didn't get the message the first time, have it another way. So Two of Swords, that's why I started cracking up. And so I'm like, okay, well, yeah, but there must be more here. And so it's like, well, you want more? Here's more. Here's the more. Without want to get right into it, because I do have to put a timer on again today, because I've got quite a bit of media to go off and make in order to keep up with this Kickstarter campaign. And on which note, in which case, or on that note, I better actually set an alarm. It's time now. It's 9. Okay, so I'm going to set an alarm for 10 a.m. But yeah, at this moment, he's not rushing to do anything except for figure out what he wants to do, what he needs. I get, the nature of your connection is one that is growing you both. There's this, for me, this devil here really feels like, whatever patterns, the patterns that are in play that might loop. So, these patterns, when I talk about them, I think most of us, when we're talking about patterns that hark back to childhood survival mechanisms, but that became self-sabotaging patterns in relationships and stuff that just keeps coming up over and over again. So, whatever way was navigated in this, whatever disagreement you guys had, I'd say to guess, was triggering for both of you, and perhaps triggered, old patterns for both of you, perhaps. and feel free to let me know if that's not correct. But that's for me what the devil is speaking to here, and certainly what is going on for your person, probably mirrored, I'd say, to a large degree. I don't, I get that your person is probably working to avoid conflict. I don't necessarily see it here. It's just a general feeling. Hence why, I do see it here. I see it here in these two. With this Two of Swords, it's a definite want to avoid conflict. It's a want to avoid anything. And not in the same way that, you're looking at a Seven of Swords where it's like, I'm just going to hide out. It's like, I can't even see the ability to make a choice right now, so I'm just going to put a blindfold on and just not see anything at all right now. But looking at this lot here, there's a lot going on under the surface, and like I said, for me it feels mirrored. Page of Pentacles, and this I'd say is probably for you true for both of you, the want to embrace growth, allowing things to just take their course, right? And I think that if you, the more that you can release the outcome or trust in the process is probably the better way of putting it. I know it's a cliche, but it's a good cliche for the Seven of Pentacles. Just allow the fruit to ripen here, and this King of Pentacles, it's in the same energy, right? Now, what did you say he was a Did you say he was Scorpion? Aries. You said he was Aries, right? He's got a bit of, has he got a bit of earth energy in there? But yeah, I just wondered if this represented him as well, or whether, we're just talking about the general archetype energy, the archetypal energy that you're both being called to, right? Remember and embody here. This particular archetype is like just, it's a feeling of, right, well, that happened, and well, shit happens, right? It's like, I'm just trying to think like the Earth King. It's like, get on with it. Get on with the, whatever's got to be gotten on with, and everything will be fine. And especially when we're looking at this line up the top here, it's all pentacles, right? It's very earthy energy. And, as where things are at, plus as guidance, it's like, embodying this, it just helps you both stay grounded. And I do suspect, again, because of the mirror effect, the more grounded you are, the better, right? The more trusting, right? The more, with the King of Pentacles, he's not too concerned about the detail, right? Especially with these two cards here, it's like, we see the vision. It's like, just allow things to settle, and allow the dust to settle, and allow things to come right. And I really feel like that's what this is speaking to. And your person, Ethan, I get the feeling that it's like, let's just let this settle, and I'll work it out when I have gotten myself back to this place here. But yeah, there's this underlying that, this is something that is being addressed. The moon in reverse, it's like, that's, it's quite good. It's like we're out of the illusion, in this moment. There's no illusions here. And sitting under justice, for me, it feels quite good. Like the energy here feels good. Maybe a little bit of, just a little bit of solar plexus maybe. Like in terms of, like, what does that mean? Just maybe there's a little bit of anxiety here, but otherwise it's pretty, things feel pretty settled. And the comment I'd make about this moon in reverse under justice, for me, it's really speaking to, there's a certain amount of a feeling of, like, okay, right, we know where things are at. We know, like, whatever happened in your disagreement, it's like something was made clear, I think. Let me know if that's incorrect, but there's something here that's speaking to, because I'm just making, I might be just making assumptions, wild assumptions, but there's a feeling here of because something's been made more clear that might have been like a illusory or an illusion. It's brought things into balance, into a sense of integrity, and especially as this is dealt with, this integrity will be even more steady. And personally, I do like justice. Seeing justice in a relationship read, it just means everything is, especially upright, everything is in check. And kind of, even though things might not seem right, it's like things are okay, and they will balance out. And it's just, and with the Wheel of Fortune here, this is great. I'm seeing what this means now. It's just timing, right? It's timing. There'll be a right time where both of you will connect, and I'm not sure which one of you will be the one that reaches out first. I don't think it matters, to be honest with you, because it'll be a moment of where things feel aligned. Okay. So he may contact you. The when is, when I say he may contact you, because you may contact him first if you haven't already. But how soon that will be, looking at this, it doesn't feel like it's that far away, to be honest, because this is very grounded energy. But it's like, while he's still in this energy, it's like not going to happen. So the more you're in this energy, given that there's every likelihood of mirroring going on here, the more you are, the more he will be. And work on your patterns. Work on whatever patterns you were in that contributed to your disagreement. Presuming that, I don't know if you'd look back and see, your own role in that. Again, I'm making some wild assumptions here. I already did, and he ignored you. I'll lose interest, so hopefully he doesn't take too long. Well, we say these things, Queen, but will we really? Right? Will we really? Or are they big words? Don't mind me calling you out. I know as a fellow water sign and also a Cancerian, we're pretty faithful. Speaking to you from my Cancer moon. Yeah, so, you might not contact him now, but I think, like, for your own sake, I wouldn't, when we're reviewing whatever happened in a an interlude or in an interaction that left us unsatisfied, unhappy, or upset. If we can review whatever happened with the shoes of the hanged man, that is where we are, suspended from our normal position, or our usual position, and see things from another perspective. Sometimes we can get some insights. I'm suggesting that suspension be one that is with compassion, and I'm applying my own experience here. So take it with a grain of salt, or for what it's worth to you. But when I look back on some of the interactions with people that I care about, I've had to really take a lot of responsibility for my own stuff and my own projections, my own mirrors. And I can recall some of the things that I said to somebody where for me, when I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of convenient to say. It was a definite hook, but I didn't actually mean that. I think I was, I think I was unconsciously. No, it can't be 9:50 already. I've got 3 other reads to do. Oh man, we have to close the queue already. Unconsciously, I am right. Okay, so I probably don't even need to go into it. So the more you can review that and address your patterns, like while you're waiting for him to get to that place yourself, so that you don't repeat. When we're meeting somebody else, and we're mirroring each other, they'll have their patterns going on where they expect, in the back of their mind. No, let's not talk about them. Let's talk about the effect of how these patterns work when we are in an interaction that is triggering. It just provides us, whatever happens can provide us with the evidence that we were right, that this old pattern that we have, it sits there unconsciously, and somebody comes along and we have someone we care about, and then they act the way that we expect them to act based on old evidence, right? And it doesn't have to be about that person. It's just that the archetype that they're playing is one we're used to interacting with. So we're like, oh, there it goes again, or just what I expected to happen. And then we play out an archetype that we're used to playing. If we are, and this is one of the reasons why I loved when I did the dark triad test. I don't recommend it for everybody, but I was ready to accept these other aspects of myself. So I did the dark triad, and I was like, oh shit, I'm pretty manipulative. And it's true, I am. I'm pretty manipulative. I can be pretty psychopathic. And I definitely have moments where I'm narcissistic. But, the thing is, I was able to see that it wasn't all the other person. I had these patterns that contributed to, every disagreement. And so rather than going back into the next one with those same patterns, especially after everything really turns to custard, you're really forced to work on these things. Better to do it before the custard. So anyway, I'm talking about my own situation. This might not apply to you. Take it for, like I said, what it's worth. But you do the work, right? You ground yourself. You like embrace growth, embrace your growth, embrace whatever it is you need to for yourself, and allow the fruit to ripen on the tree. Trust in this process, and bring yourself to this place of self-mastery within. I would say, this is going to be helpful to you. Like, I'm talking really practically now about the King of Pentacles, self-mastery in the area of resource management. If you've already got yourself sorted with that, great. We'll just focus on whatever else lies within this King's domain. And this King is pretty solid and reliable, right? Things like this, they've tended to have dealt with. I mean, the devil is in the King of Pentacles realm. So it's like, he's wrestled with his dark side, and like, he's like, yeah, it's cool. This happens, but like, it's a part of me. It doesn't rule me. Does that make sense? And so, yeah. But that's how everything comes into balance. So, this energy, I'm seeing it there, and I'm now going, okay, is this future energy, or past energy and future present energy? I think it's all of the above. So, but yeah, it's a matter of timing, but you'll do yourself a massive solid if you embrace this yourself, because you'll likely find that it's mirrored on the other side. Okay? So yeah, that's it. He can't shut down. Yeah, but he might have those moments, and because he's going through his own growth, and if you can know that it's got nothing to do with you, right? And this is where you have to, this is part of this trust, but the more you grow, and the more that you trust that, he's showing up the best he can, and it's not always going to be perfect. The way that and you'll have your own thing. Like, we're not going to show up perfectly, guys. We're not. Like, we might try, and we might think we are, right? But I'm willing to bet that the other side is going to have a different opinion, right? So, yeah. Does that make sense? Anyway, yeah, you're most welcome. Hopefully that's been helpful to you. It's going to work out, honestly. This is what I'm saying. Everything's fine. Just do this, okay? And when I talk to you next week, I'll be highly surprised if there's not a new marker on the road, on the road of your your connection. I think it's awesome. Okay, but yeah, pleasure, Queen. Yeah. Thank you for letting me read for you. Yeah, we worry, right? We worry because we're like, oh my God, this thing has happened. It's been a whole day. I don't know what it's been for you really, but I know that sometimes I used to panic over a few hours, and now I'm like, it's like everything's groovy. We're good. We have these moments, and it's fine. Okay, so reading for Saron. So we will close the queue up after Janet. So Janet, not Janet, Saron. Is Robert stalking or watching me online? I recently did a gentle goodbye to him by text. Just gave a boundary and acknowledged the obstacles on his side. He never replied. I left the door open. Yeah, okay, let's read on that. Is Robert stalking, watching me online? Yeah, guys, on our Kickstarter probably through our quick Kickstarter launch. Actually, I may keep using this deck. Good juju. Oh, do me a favour, guys, by the way. You may not be able to contribute to the campaign. You may not be able to get yourself a deck. But I am doing, by the way, just in case, if any of you guys, if you are in a position to get a deck, I'm just going to quickly tell you that I've got, so like most decks are 78 cards, right? This deck is 80 cards as a standard. It's basically an Ascension deck, and it's very Star City. Well, it's my version of Star City. It's very mission based. But so the two cards that are extras are the title card and the, sorry Saron, I'm coming back to you. The title card and the, just keep pushing that up. The title card and the access card. So you're looking at the title card there, and there is an access card which is not showing itself to me right in this moment, but yeah, there are those two cards. But there's a collector's deck I'm doing, because there's a whole story wrapped around this. And you know what, Saron, I'm going to come to your read in a second. While I'm on this, I'm going to play this, so this is where we'll take a quick break between. So but there, in the collector's deck, there are 81 cards, and there is a Portal 22. It is called the Crown, basically, and it is it is the Ascension card. Okay, I'm not short of alarms from my time, 10 a.m. But yeah, so but yeah, if you can't afford to get the decks, like if you can't manage that, like what you can do if you want to support me is go to the Kickstarter. And I don't know if you're able to comment, just drop a comment on, right, it just helps me be seen by the Kickstarter community. That would be awesome. Interact, if you can interact with it, but at the very least go and have a look. The link is in my bio. I'll be really appreciative of that. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to play this, and then we'll, it's like about 2 minutes long, and then we'll do this read. But this is the story of this character. So just as an FYI, before I did this deck, I had this story about this character, and this character represented oh, you'll see, I'll let it talk for itself. It's a little, I wouldn't say dark, but it's a little deep, okay? Does need headphones, or it does probably appreciate headphones, because it's more of an audio cutscene, not a video cutscene. Okay, alright. Okay, I'm going to play this out.
Our story begins with the protagonist of our tale.
Okay, so can you guys hear that okay? Is that loud enough? Yeah, let me just play it one more time. So I can see the levels.
Our story begins with the protagonist of our tale. Or is she the antagonist? It probably depends on who you ask. To us, she is simply Dorte. Dorte Gadders.
Okay, before I carry on, is that loud enough, guys? I just want to play it because it's actually pretty cool. Probably could have used a bit of more of a lead up. And then, yeah, we will definitely, sorry Saron, we will get into your read. We're humouring me at the moment. So, oh god, is there anyone actually here to watch it? Oh bugger it, I'm just going to play it. I'll play it and just trust that it's loud enough. Yes, okay, cool. Alright. Let me just switch off my mic. Is it this one? Check.
Protagonist of our tale. Our story begins with the protagonist of our tale. Or is she the antagonist? It probably depends on who you ask. To us, she is simply Dorte. Dorte Gadders. Born Dorothy T. Gadders, with a wild mop of auburn hair, now dyed bright pink, still wild. But otherwise, not much worth mentioning. At least that's what she would say, if not those who knew her. Graduated art school, check. Respectable coffee-making skills, check. Respectable accomplishments according to the world, 0. Social life, also 0. Not that she minded a 0 social life terribly much. What wore her down was the monotony, the bare-bones existence, the yearning to create without even a spark of inspiration. Why was the world so gray? Monotonosity, she'd call it. Stuck in a box. An ordinary, everyday person doing ordinary, everyday things. And that hurt. Gadders often wondered if everyone secretly believed they were destined for great things, but struggled to find even a faint path in that direction. That, however, was about to change. There's an old saying, the best way to find destiny is while you're trying to avoid it. Dorte had no intention of meeting anyone, let alone fate. Fate, however, was about to meet Gadders. If you stumbled upon this, it was no accident. You may be standing at the edge of your own ordinary world. Moments before something shifts, destiny rarely knocks loudly. It hums quietly beneath routine, waiting for you to listen. Come back tomorrow as the story continues in 30 days of Dorte Gadders and the Neon Nexus.
Mic back on. Cool. Yeah, it's thanks for that. Yeah, I the next episode I'm putting out today. It's like, it's kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah. So just a real quick word about it. I want to write like, I've got like I've mapped out a 5-book series, but the deck basically is the start of that, and all the characters in the deck are basically, as I was making the deck, I was making the characters they were part of the story, like this character here. I'll be putting them up on YouTube and on a TikTok called Dorte Gadders. So this one here, I've got to post it. I just have to post it at the same time I'm going to put it. So like, yeah, there's the post ready to go up. So like, I'll post it now, and then as soon as as soon as this wraps up, I'll post it. And then that way I can put it straight into my Kickstarter campaign, and yeah, that way I keep the 2 backers that have backed the project like happy, because yeah, I should be posting it out at the same time to the Kickstarter. It's really nice to have 2 backers that have just come from out of Kickstarter. So to make the cards, I had to use an overseas, so in New Zealand, I tried to use a local printer, but the card quality wasn't so good. It was okay, it's just that we're used to making business cards, and so yeah, I went overseas to a company called ePrint, and they're a family company, so there wasn't a worry about the cards ending up in Temu before I had gotten them anywhere else. So family-owned company called ePrint in Australia. But I'm going to see how the next lot turned out, because I'm like, guys, there is a 0.5 millimeter of difference on the top of the deck. The quality of them is pretty good. Like, I've printed on linen, which has got a cross hatch on it, so for those of us that like printing, or not printing, for those of us that like doing readings, it doesn't catch the light, when you've got a ring light and you've got shiny cards, it catches the light and it's really annoying. So these don't do that, which is really cool. But the other thing about them is that I've got a friend on Twitch who reads, and she'll look up descriptions, and I'm like, I made these thinking of that friend. So you should just get her camera out, have it there, and literally just go to the description and read in the descriptions that will be on the website for these, and only really accessible by the QR codes, unless you're unless you're a super sleuth or a sleuth. They will take you to the pretty full descriptions with feelings and all the rest of it, just to make reading easy, especially if you're learning. But these are actually made for learners. But as someone who's used to reading, I'm pretty cool with so the art, right, is AI generated. I had to go over it to add extra symbolism in places, and at that time, because I did these at the start of last year, AI was still generating 10-fingered hands. So there was definitely some fixing that had to be done, because symbolism is good, where AI can provide stuff that you weren't expecting. It's like, oh my god, this is exactly what I needed for this particular card, or for this particular character. I think I pulled up, there's strength card, for example. A strength card is she's got one eye, or something's up with her eyes, and I was like, you know what, I wouldn't change a thing about it, because she looks blind in this, and I was like, this is perfect, because it's the lion that sees for her. So it's symbolism like that, and I love that as a reader, because sometimes I want to read the words, and sometimes I want to read the image. And it just depends on what I'm drawn to first. So it's stuff like that, stuff like this with the Three of Pentacles, with the Magicians. I was like, oh my god, I can see this. It's not in the card there now, I'll have to add this in. But they're working together on raising these balls in the air. But this is the character here. This is Dorte Gadders. She is the fool on the journey, and in episode 2, that's where that's where things take a turn, but a slight turn anyway. She doesn't get to this place here in episode 2, but it's pretty cool. Like I said, all of the characters in here, they're part of the story. So but she's about to meet this character in episode 2, the Magician. Okay, so that's a bit about it. But like I said, if somehow, if I manage to make the book series and I manage to pull this off and turn this into a thing, and you can afford to get the collector's edition, get it, because I'm only printing 100 of those. That'll be it. And that one of that particular deck, and it has got card Portal 22, it's called, and it's like I've created like 22 cards for the major arcana for that particular deck, when normally there are 21, or it goes 0 to 21 actually. Okay, so yeah, that's it anyway. I'm going to do Saron's reading now. It was totally 10 figureheads with AI. Yeah, so but yeah, it's kind of cool. I had the story, and in actual fact, I think there's a bit of Dorte Gadders in all of us. She really is the representation of those of us who have ever experienced self-erasure, have experienced, and a lot of those of us who represent, as like light workers or starseeds, or have, really had a go of it with childhood, tough childhoods, or experiences that have turned us inside out. A lot of us might be familiar with the likes of self-erasure and of, just a sense of just having to battle with those kinds of themes. Those kinds being, in and around I think we all go through the who am I, but the self-worth and feeling like we, part of us is missing. So, the whole divine counterpart and twin flame journey, one of the things that I think that has taught a lot of us is how, let me just switch back to this. I think it's taught a lot of us, how do we get this back in here? There. It's kind of gone off screen a little. Okay, so I don't know how to fix it up. So maybe I'll just pull this picture up here. That'll do. It's taught a lot of us how to find those aspects within ourselves, and I think that was the whole point. So the relationships that we're dealing with now, right? The relationships that you guys are dealing with, and especially that you're drawn to my channel, it is very much about, the relationships become a catalyst for our own growth, and beyond that is the choice. Do you choose? Do you choose to to grow, to continue to grow together outside of those, that period of catalytic ness or catalyzation. I'm not even sure if that's a word. Yeah, anyway, enough said. I'm going to do this reading for Saron. Is Robert stalking or watching me online? Yes. I'm just looking at this girl looking at, it looks like she's looking at a screen. That's what I would say. Yeah. Why the Eight of Pentacles? I dare say so. The other thing that occurred to me is that, sometimes, oh, look at this on the bottom of the deck. There's a screen, man. There's a the screen, because I was about to say, sometimes it can be less about watching you online, because sometimes I'm like, are we talking about online, or are we talking about the field, right? So I don't know, you guys might be familiar with this, but presumably you guys are tapped into your person's energy, right? And and recognizing your entanglement, but recognizing your entanglement is giving you maybe for some of us images, maybe for some of us impressions, maybe for some of us an energetic imprint on what's happening, which is why, Queen, I was saying to you, if you and I'd say this is true for all of us that are in these relationships. The more you do with your own field, the more impact, or the more inspiration it provides to the overlapping field, right? The field between you guys, which brings me back to what I was talking about here in your read, Saron. Is that my question was, hang on, are we talking about watching you online, or are we talking about watching you online? Right, on the energetic line. But I actually think he's watching you online. Just interrupting this read just to say, Queen, if you're still here, eventually, I'll put it on Etsy. I probably should. I'll probably put it on Shopify, actually. That'll be easiest, and on the website. So let me come back to your question, Saron. Is Robert stalking or watching me online? I recently did a gentle goodbye to him. So the answer to your question, I feel like he is. I see, this is, you can see this. Okay. So, does that answer your question? But yes. The Eight of Pentacles is probably the only, it's like the question I have. Why the Eight of Pentacles? Let me just see if I can see it in here. Why? Watching, is it like, do you, on there, are you working, Saron? Are you doing something with your work? I'm just trying to understand why the Eight of Pentacles. Actually, is Saron still here? Let me just see if I can work that out. I don't know how do I tell that? Participants. Oh gosh, I'm the only one here. I'm the only one here. Oh, in that case, is there anybody else here that is still wanting me to read to them? Oh wow, everybody's gone. Oh, wow. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I think maybe I take that as my cue to leave. I will leave this reading up, so at least you guys know I hung here. I don't know, hopefully there's not a big problem with my internet or something. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll just do one last chat to see if anybody is in the house. Participants. No, it's just me. Just me, myself, and I. Okay, have a fantastic day. Saron did yours. Sorry about you guys, Avi and Janet. But have a fantastic week, and I will see you guys again next week. Okay, alright, bye for now. Just do one more check. Just make sure. It could be my internet. Just double check. Where is it again? Participants.